Hey everyone, this is Troy Harper. It's great to be back with you here at Harper Cigar Lounge. I am so excited to be back. It's been such a long time. It seems like since I've been with you guys. The last podcast I did, I think, was January 25th. So it's a long time coming. I'm glad to be back. I'm so excited, guys. Thank you for being here with me today. And I couldn't wait to get back down here to my lounge to hang out with you guys today. Today is this is February 18th, and today this is episode 16 of season 2 of Harper Cigar Lounge. So welcome, and thank you for being a part of all this today. I hope you brought a great drink, a great smoke. Hope you got some great music in the background. I've got some Striper in the background. Got my Striper shirt on today from the final battle tour that's been happening over this last year. So anyway, and that will be a topic today that we'll discuss is the band Striper. But let's get into what I'm going to be smoking and reviewing today first, and then we'll get into some heavy metal birthdays, some heavy metal news, all the current news within the metal world, hard rock world that's going on out there. And I'll have some little goodies to show you throughout this podcast and some of my own memorabilia from my personal collection, albums, CDs, just some autographed memorabilia from the band Striper, of course. And so I hope you guys will have a fun, I hope you'll have a great time today. Hope you'll have fun hanging out with me today. And if you've never really listened to the band Striper, I hope today after this podcast, you will be interested in checking them out. Huge band out of the metal scene, out of the 80s. Still going to this day, and they're in the middle of making a new album right now. They've got a new album out, which I'll get into here shortly. But anyway, I got a lot of great stuff for you guys today. I hope you'll stick around and watch this today and hang out. So, but anyway, today I'm going to be smoking and reviewing this SKOLL. Let's see, it's called the SKOLL CUBRA, and it's made out of it's based out of Nicaragua, is where this was made. And this comes from this is a boutique, considered a boutique cigar. This is from a company called Family by Loyalty Cigars. They are a boutique company, and they are out of Doral, Florida. And I'll have some information about them and everything for you. But a buddy of mine that is a rep, cigar rep for Family by Loyalty Cigars, brought me in some of their cigars to try. May look at trying to bring them into my grocery store eventually. But anyway, wanted to review one of these today. This one here again is called the SKOLL CUBRA. And I'm choosing this cigar today. It's got a nice yellow and black wrapper on it. And there's the back of it. It's got yellow and black cigar band on it that will go great with my subject matter today, since Striper, the band Striper's got yellow and black, and it matches this cigar. I thought this would be a great one to choose to smoke and review today. But I've been anxious to try this. I've had another one of these from the cigars that Daniel brought me, and it was really good. And I'm going to see if I can reach it here. Let's see. Okay. So the other one I smoked, let's see here. Well, I can't remember what this was called. This one was called, but there's the band from the other one I smoked right there. It says Family by Loyalty, real small there. I wish I could remember the name of this cigar. I'll have to look it up. But I did smoke one the other day, and or it was last week or so. It was really good. It was a Connecticut shade, I can tell you that. It was a pipe size cigar. I think it was probably, let's see, trying to think of it. It was probably a 3.5 by 52 size Connecticut shade cigar, the one I just showed you the band from. But I can't remember the name of that one exactly. But anyway, but yeah. So today I'm very anxious to try this one. But anyway, so this is a Robusto 5 by 50. The wrapper is Brazilian CUBRA. Binder's Criollo 98. Filler's Nicaraguan Corojo 99. Medium strength cigar considered. For a single, it's around $9.46 a stick. 5-pack around $47.32. Box of 21, $227.60. A box of 28, around $264.99. Some of the taste notes that I read about is pepper, earthiness, slight hints of spice, balanced with cinnamon. Floral notes in the first third it showed. And I can't remember what site I looked at on this. It was a site where a company was selling some of these cigars. Some chocolate notes, raisin notes, hay and cedar notes. So we'll see what we get out of this. I'll be anxious to see what the aromas are like, how the construction is, how it burns, if it's an even burn or not. But I tell you, it feels really great in my hand. It's kind of veiny, but it's got a nice silky feel to it. It's not rough or anything. It's real nice and silky feeling. So anyway, so I'm definitely anxious to smoke this. So anyway, but if you're at the end of this podcast, if you're interested in getting a hold of some of these, you can get a hold of Daniel Ravanelli on Facebook or Instagram. Also, if you want to get a hold of the Family by Loyalty cigar company, just go to cigars.com, Family by Loyalty cigars.com. They're located at 3105 Northwest 107th Avenue, Suite 400, U2 in Doral, Florida, 33172. So you could write them even. And they do have a phone number here, 305-721-9785, if you want to call them and talk to them more about these boutique cigars. But anyway, so that's some information for you. If you're interested in getting a hold of someone about these cigars, if you're interested in trying these, maybe you've heard of them. If you have, let me know. If you've had these, let me know what your experiences have been. I'll try to give you every possible detail of what I experienced today with this. So anyway, so let me get this cut and lit and toasted and lit up, and we'll move on to some heavy metal birthdays, and then we'll get into some heavy metal news, and then we'll get into the subject of the band, the Christian metal band Striper, which I've been great friends with for a long time. So anyway, so let me get this cut and lit. Today I'm going to use my Perdomo Gillian cutter, cigar cutter. It's got kind of a backing on it to trap the cap once you cut it off. So, and it causes it, and the way it's set up, it helps you to not cut too deep off the cap so it doesn't unravel or anything on you. So anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and moisten this first a little bit. Hopefully my music's not too loud in the background. We've got a Striper live show playing. I forget what country they're out of on this video, but it was back from 2010. So anyway, but boy, that wrapper tastes good. Oh, it's got a little bit of a spice to it. Got a little bit of maybe a red pepper kind of a taste note to it. So let me get this cut. And as you see it trapped it right there, so I'll get rid of that. if you go to Perdomo.com, these guillotine cutters are great. It's probably been one of the best cutters I have. And I know Daniel Ravanelli, if you're watching, I know you've got one of these Xife V cutter lighter combo. I love this thing. It's my wife got this for me on Amazon, and it's just been great. I love it, and it's nice. I like the cigar rest on it. If it's needed, it's there for me. But really great cigar cutter and lighter. If you guys are really wanting a nice sturdy lighter and cutter, boy, these are great to get a hold of. About $40 some, I think, is what my wife paid. But this is a gunmetal, I think is what they called it. So anyway, but just a really great lighter. I love it. It's very sturdy and very reliable. So anyway, so I got that just in case I need it today. But anyway, so I got this cut. Doing a cold draw on it here real quick to see what taste notes I get. Getting a little, maybe just a little bit of vanilla in the cold draw. A little bit of, maybe a little bit of cedar. But definitely getting a little vanilla and some cedar. Maybe just a touch of honey as well. So anyway, but I love the cold draw on it. And the draw seems really good. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too loose or anything. It doesn't seem too tight. It seems just about right. So anyway, so let me go ahead and start toasting this. And I'm going to use my Deadwood Tobacco Company 2-torch lighter here to toast this up. And while I toast this, I don't want to get the flame too close. Just want it to heat up and get those tobaccos in there, heat it up a little bit. And I try to do it where I try to get this where I get it all done evenly. So I just want to get everything toasted evenly. So I rotate my cigar while I do that. And I'm talking about this for all you new beginners out there, maybe. It's not a great idea to put your flame right into the cigar and light it up quick and smother it with the flame. It will cause it to burn unevenly. You won't get the taste out of it that you should. It just will not be a good experience for you. It'll burn very unevenly. You'll tunnel up one side maybe. You'll get a burnt taste. You just want to toast it and heat it up nicely. And then in the end you can give it a final light. But like I said, I do try to keep the flame away from it as much as I can. I just want to get a nice even burn on it. I just want to toast it enough to where the tobacco start lighting up. Or heating up, I'm sorry. Kind of almost like if you were to jump start a car. If it's dead, you jump start it, and then once you jump start it, you give it that final hit of the gas, before you take off in it. It's getting there. I'm going to switch over to my triple torch flame, I think. Get this moving a little bit faster. I'm not trying to rush it by any means, but my 2-torch just wasn't getting all the tobacco very well. It didn't seem like on this bigger cigar here. It's a 5x50. It's not a huge cigar, but it's just still a little bit too big, I think, for that little 2-torch flame. This one's working much nicer. The 3-torch is working much better on this, so. Almost there, I think. There, it's starting to all look evenly orange and toasty looking here. I always want to prepare my cigar the best I can so I can get the best experience out of it. I don't want to rush it. It just never turns out well doing that, so. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it burned evenly here. As you can see, it looks like it's all burned evenly there. Oh, right off the bat, a lot of pepper. A little cinnamon, maybe. Definitely a little earthiness, like the description showed for the taste notes. Definitely some little hints of spice or red pepper, but definitely kind of a pepper, kind of a taste. So anyway, we'll see how this does. There's just a little slight uneven burn here, so I thought I would just kind of get that corner to even it out here. There. Hopefully that will do the trick. What are you guys drinking today? I've got some Bones coffee today. I've got my Bones coffee cup here. I'm drinking those Bones. It's called Army of Dark Chocolate, dark roast, small batch coffee. Right there is what I'm drinking today. What do you guys got today? Anything good? You guys got maybe some whiskey or some rum or tequila, wine, coffee maybe yourself as well, water. It all goes good with cigars. I love sparkling waters with cigars too. So anyway, but yeah, today I'm in the mood for coffee. So, but I do like rums. I like whiskey once in a while. I like a little wine sometimes with my cigars. But today it's still kind of early here today. It's not super early. It's about 11:30 right now. I got up about 9 o'clock this morning. Slept in a little bit. I haven't had much sleep for a while, it seems like. So just due to my work and family issues and everything, just haven't had the sleep I want. So I slept until about 9 today. I had wanted to get up sooner, but it just didn't happen. But I'm glad I could be here today. Doing my podcast on Thursdays, it just hasn't been working out very well. And today's Sunday. My wife's decided to run into Scottsbluff, Nebraska, about 40 minutes from here, to go meet up with her daughter. So I thought, well, today would be a great day to do a podcast and everything. So I'm glad I could be here finally. This Thursday I'll be busy again, of course, so I won't get one in this Thursday, but that's why I wanted to do this today. It's been too long since I've been with you guys and really had the urge to get another podcast in and before I get busy again. So I'm glad again I could be here today. Thank you guys for joining me, and without you guys I wouldn't be here today. I will be giving some shout outs today as well before the end of this podcast, for all the new members. We have a lot of new members again. Harper Cigar Lounge is still growing very well. And so I appreciate all of you that are spreading the word out there and that are letting people know about Harper Cigar Lounge. And all of you that have been here from the beginning, I appreciate it. And you know, I forgot, February 14th was our 1 year anniversary. And darn it, I forgot to, I was so busy that day. I meant to put up a short video to let you guys know it's our anniversary and to thank you for being a part of this. So anyway, February 14th was our 1 year anniversary. So thank you guys for making it all possible. Again, without you, I wouldn't be here. And it's been great to get to know a lot of you out there. I've got some local people here in Kimball, Nebraska that are part of this. I've got people in surrounding areas that are part of this. I've got people over in, Germany and Japan and India, Mexico, all around the states, people that have been a part of this. So thank you to all of you. I really do appreciate you guys. I really do. I love each and every one of you. You guys are always my prayers and thoughts. And again, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it, guys. But anyway, this cigar tastes really, really good. Definitely, I'd say, definitely a medium strength cigar. And I just love the bands on it. I really love cigar bands that really stand out and that reach out and grab you. I love seeing a really nice cigar band on a cigar. And I just think this is a classy cigar. I really do. Really classy cigar. And I love their wolf logo on there as well. But anyway, so far tasting great. Little pepper, little earthiness. Little bit of red pepper, black pepper. But I'm also getting, which wasn't in the taste notes, definitely getting a little bit of vanilla, some coffee, definitely getting a little hint of chocolate in there maybe. Kind of on the back of my palate, or on the back of my throat, on the back of my throat, got a little bit of a chocolate taste. Just on my tongue and kind of around my mouth, just some of the pepper and everything, some of the earthiness and the pepper. But anyway, yeah, it's a great cigar so far. I'm loving the taste of it. So anyway, I'll give it just a little bit more of a light, I think. Give it one more light. It seems like it needs just a little bit more. I thought I had toasted it long enough, but maybe not. Anyway, I think I got it. But I don't know, it's got a lot of great smoke coming off of it. Gosh, in the air, I get a little bit of, my nose is just a little bit stuffed up. I've had some allergy issues lately, but definitely getting a little bit of some sweet aromas, some cedar, oak kind of aromas in the air. But very, very good smelling aromas, definitely. So, and I wish I could retrohale. I've always tried to retrohale, and I never can get that down. I've tried and tried and tried. It's just not meant for me to retrohale, but I know you get different taste notes from the retrohale as well. And I just wish I could do that, but I just have never been able to. So anyway, guys, What have y'all been up to? Hope your week's been good so far. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you'll have a great week coming up, starting tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you guys have been doing good out there. I really do. And like I said, you're always in my thoughts and my prayers. And I'm just so thankful for all of you. I really am. So, but anyway, let me get into some heavy metal birthdays. And I'm a little behind, of course, so I'm going through the whole month here, but I'm going to try and make this quick. But Alice Cooper had a birthday on February 4th, on February 4th. He was born in 1948. He's at the age of 76 now. If you know Alice Cooper well enough, he's also been involved with a band on the side called Hollywood Vampires. He's had that band, I think, since... I want to say that started in 1992 with him, I want to say. But band members he's had involved in that is Johnny Depp, the actor Johnny Depp, Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Tommy Hendrickson, Glenn Sobel, which is his drummer in the Alice Cooper band, Chris Wise on bass, Buck Johnson on keyboards. So if you've never listened to Hollywood Vampires, great band to listen to. Check them out. I wish I could catch them live. So if you ever get a chance to check out Hollywood Vampires, check them out. So Alice Cooper, again, age 76. Happy belated birthday to you, sir. I'll be getting to see you again August 24th over in Lincoln, Nebraska, along with Rob Zombie and Ministry and Filter. So I'm looking forward to that show. Can't wait. I saw you a couple years back or so, and a few years back, and it was such a great show. It was around October before Halloween, so it was a great show. So I've been very anxious to get back to see you again, so I can't wait. Duff McKagan, bass backing vocals for Guns N' Roses. Also, he's been involved with Velvet Revolver. He's been involved with Hollywood Vampires as well, off and on. And he was also involved with Jane's Addiction for a short time. But anyway, Duff was born on February 5th of 1964. He's age 60. Axl Rose, lead vocals for Guns N' Roses. Born on February 6th, 1962. He's at the age of 62 right now. David Bryan, keyboardist, backing vocals for Bon Jovi. Born on February 7th, 1962. He's at the age of 62. Solly Erna, lead vocalist, rhythm guitarist, songwriter for Godsmack. Born on February 7th, 1968. So he's at the age of 56 now. Wes Borland, guitarist, backing vocals for Limp Bizkit. Born on February 7th, 1975. So he's at the age of 49. Vince Neil, lead vocals for rhythm guitars, also for off and on a little bit of guitars he plays on stage for Motley Crue. He's also got 3 solo albums under his belt. He was born on February 8th, 1961. He's at the age of 63. I'd love to catch Motley Crue again. Hopefully that'll happen eventually. I'm loving this cigar, by the way, Daniel. Thank you for bringing this to me to try, and I really do hope I can get some of these cigars into my store here soon. So anyway, great cigar, guys, so far. Just a slight even burn right now, but hopefully that'll fix itself here. But so far it's still tasting great. Construction's great. It's not cracking or unraveling or falling apart or anything. So it's a great cigar so far. I'm loving it. Again, thank you, Daniel. And let's see here. Cliff Burton, bassist, backing vocals for Metallica. He was born on February 10th, 1962. He died on September 27th, 1986 during the Master of Puppets tour. He was at the age of 24 when he got killed. And he got killed in Dororp, Sweden. Their tour bus, I'm sorry, their tour bus hit some black ice and skidded off the road and flipped. And Cliff was thrown out of the window, and while he was sleeping, he had traded bunks with Kirk Hammett that night. They had a bet, and Kirk Hammett lost a bet of some sort of bet they had, and so Cliff Burton wanted his bed because it was a better bed. Well, anyway, when that bus flipped, Cliff Burton wasn't, of course, strapped down by a seatbelt or anything, and he was thrown out the bus window and got crushed immediately. Very sad at the time when that news came across. I'll never forget that when I heard that on MTV. Heard it when I got home from school at that time, and I was just shocked. And I know the whole metal world was shocked as well. So, Cliff, you're missed greatly. I appreciate all your talents and all the stuff you left behind for us to enjoy, but you are missed every day. You are missed, and I miss your bass playing. I always can't wait to hear a good Metallica album with you on it. But anyway, so let's see. Cliff would be 62 today if he was alive. So, Cliff Burton, rest in peace. You're missed greatly, brother. You're great. You're missed greatly, and rest in peace and everything. So, and then we got Craig Jones, ex-Slipknot sampler keyboardist. He was born on February 11th, 1972. So he's at the age of 52 right now. Let's see here. Jakey Lee, Ozzy Osbourne, Badlands, Red Dragon Cartel are the bands he's been involved with. Guitarist. I think he's been involved with some of the backing vocals at times during these, with I think with Red Dragon Cartel and Badlands. I wish Badlands and Red Dragon I guess Red Dragon Cartel, I guess Jakey Lee still has a hand on that, and I guess they're doing some, I think they've done some shows off and on. But I miss him with Ozzy Osbourne, miss Badlands with him. But anyway, he was born on February 15, 1957. He's at the age of 67 right now. Dave Lombardo, drummer for, well, he's the ex-drummer for Slayer. He's been involved with Suicidal Tendencies and the Misfits as well. He was born on February 16th, 1965, at the age of 59 right now. And Dave, you're missed greatly too. I miss your work with Black Sabbath, definitely. I'm going to give the cigar just a quick little touch up here. Get that to burn a little bit even. It's not too bad. It's burning fairly evenly, but just want to give there was just one little spot here that wasn't burning down the way it should be. So anyway, nothing too major, but it's got some great ash on it building up. Really good ash buildup there. Nice gray ash. A lot of gray smoke coming off of this still. Loving the aromas. Right now, at the aromas, I'm getting a little bit of maybe some, like, I don't know, some cream coffee or cappuccino kind of smells along with the cedar. Just kind of a slight sweetness to the aromas. Reminds me of kind of a cappuccino kind of smells to it. And I know what I'm getting may not be the same with you, Daniel, out there, or maybe any of you other members that have tried this cigar. Everyone's palates are a little different, but some similarities with what I've read. You know, some of the pepper, some of the earthiness, hints of red pepper or black pepper, a little bit of chocolate. I'm trying to get some of the raisin taste notes out of this. I haven't really got any raisin taste notes yet. Such a good cigar. Thank you again, Daniel. Probably will never thank you enough for bringing me these to try. Let's see here. Next we got Ice-T. He's been involved with a metal band called Body Count. He's a rapper from the 80s. He's been in kind of a detective show for a while. I'm trying to remember what it's called. But back in the 80s, he was in two different movies. One was Breakin', and the next one was Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo from 1984 1985. So you might remember Ice-T from those movies, maybe, if you're around the age I'm at. Anyway, so he started Body Count in 1990, and I didn't realize how many influences Ice-T has in the metal world. But if you've never listened to Body Count, check them out. It's really hard, heavy metal type stuff with some rap, of course, in it. It's great stuff. You guys got to check that band out. And then, of course, next on the list is Taylor Hawkins. He was the drummer for Foo Fighters. He was born on February 17th, 1972. He died on March 25th, 2022, at the age of 50 in Bogota, Colombia. When they found him in his apartment, he had 10 substances in his system, I guess. He would have been 52 if he was still alive. So anyway, rest in peace, Taylor. You're missed as well. Your drumming style was awesome with Foo Fighters. You're missed greatly. Rest in peace. Let's see here. And I hope the two previous guys, with Dave Lombardi, I hope I mentioned that he was born on February 16, 1965, age 59. Ice-T, I can't remember if I had mentioned it, but he was born on February 16th, 1958. He's at the age of 66. And then Taylor Hawkins, he would have been 52 if he was alive right now. Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, guitarist and composer of Black Sabbath. Only original member. Towards the end of everything, he was really the only original member left, besides Ozzy when they did the reunion tour back in '98. Anyway, so Tony Iommi was also involved with Jethro Tull for a short time. He was with Sabbath. He started Sabbath in, I think, '66, if I remember right, and then he went to go with Jethro Tull oh gosh, that was in 1968, but then he returned back to Black Sabbath to keep working on Black Sabbath in '69. So he was born on February 19th, 1948. He's at the age of 76. So let's see here. Actually, his birthday will be tomorrow. So everyone I read before him, happy belated birthday to all of you. And rest in peace to the two guys that I mentioned that have passed. So anyway, Tony, have a great birthday tomorrow. And then also tomorrow, Doug Ulrich, his birthday's tomorrow as well. He's the guitarist. He's been a guitarist for Whitesnake, Dio, Hurricane, House of Lords, Revolution Saints. He, believe it or not, he was also in Stryper for a very quick time, way back in the early 80s before Stryper even signed their first contract with Enigma Records, which will tie into something else here soon. But anyway, yeah, but Doug Ulrich, he was he's currently with the Dead Daisies right now. He was born on February 19th, 1964, so he's at the age of 60 right now. Or he will be 60 tomorrow, sorry. Get a few puffs on this so it doesn't go out on me. Still tasting great. It's burning fairly evenly now. Just some very slight burning issues, but not much. But burning pretty well. Still getting some good smoke off of it. Getting some great ash still. If you guys are lucky, maybe I'll drop an ash for you guys today. That's been kind of a thing with these podcasts. I always drop an ash somehow. So maybe that'll happen. Maybe you guys will get your money's worth today and see this. See history in the making of me dropping one more ash for you. Anyway, then tomorrow also, Seth Morrison, guitarist for the Christian metal band Skillet. Um, they're a Christian mainstream band, metal band. He was born in 1988 on February 19th, and so he'll be at the age of 36 tomorrow. So, trying to keep my notes in order here. Let's see, and then next on our list for birthdays, I'm almost done. I'm getting there, guys. Randy Blythe, lead vocals for Lamb of God. He was born on February 21st, 1971. He's at the age of 53. Then Scott Phillips, drummer for Alter Bridge and Creed, which Creed's doing a reunion tour here pretty soon. He was born on February 22nd, 1973, age of 51. He'll be on the 22nd. And then Brad Whitford, guitarist for Aerosmith. He was born on February 23rd, 1952, so he'll be at the age of 72. Michael Wilton, songwriter, guitarist for Queensryche. Born on February 23rd, 1962. He'll be at the age of 62. John Norum, guitarist, backing vocals, and songwriter for the band Europe. Born on February 23rd, 1964, so he'll be 60 coming up. Chris Fiend, ex-Slipknot percussionist, born on February 24th, 1973. He'll be at the age of 57. Jonathan Cain, keyboardist, rhythm guitarist, backing vocals, songwriter for the band Journey, and he was also in the Babies before Journey, and then he was in Bad English along with Neil Schon back in the late 80s, early 90s. For a short time. So anyway, again, he was born on February 26, 1950. He'll be at the age of 74. And then Neil Schon, guitar singer, songwriter for Journey, and the only original member of Journey, the only original band member of Journey. Also, he was with Santana before Journey, and he was also in Bad English along with Jonathan Cain in the later 80s, early 90s. And he was born on February 27th, 1954, so he'll be at the age of 70. And then last but not least, on my list of birthdays for February, Adrian Smith, guitarist, backing vocals for Iron Maiden. He was born on February 27th, 1957. He'll be at the age of 67. And I'll be getting to see Iron Maiden on the Future Past World Tour. I'll be seeing them October 19th. Of this year at the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. So literally looking forward to seeing Iron Maiden again. And of course, I love seeing Adrian Smith, so I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, so there's your birthdays for February. Get my notes in order here again. Okay. And then good. I'm having to give this another relight here. Not sure why it's is going out on me here, but I always blame it on me talking too much. Really, I think a lot of it is why. If I'm just sitting down here in my lounge and smoking, and my cigars never go out on me. I don't know if you can hear my music in the background from Striper, but Michael's doing the cover song of Breaking the Law from Judas Priest. I think this concert's from Indonesia, if I remember right, back in 2010. Hope I can get this to stay lit finally here. So anyway, right now I'm going to rate this cigar probably a 90. Um, just because of the relights. I've had to touch it up just a couple times. Nothing major on that, really. Not a major issue with that. But I've had to relight it a couple times, or 2 or 3 times here. And it's been kind of a fast burning cigar so far. It's not a, doesn't seem like it's a very slow burning cigar. It's kind of burning kind of fast. Getting through my first third almost here. So anyway, but I'm still enjoying this, guys. Really am enjoying it. So let's get into some heavy metal news. Bret Michaels from Poison says that 100% they will tour again on the road, and they plan to have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 other big acts with them. They'd like to do kind of another stadium tour, I think, is what he's planning on. And I really hope it's on a date where I can catch them this time. If they do, I've seen Bret Michaels in concert, and he does such a great job, but I've never gotten to see Poison. And I've been trying to catch Poison forever, since high school. And I still have never been able to catch them, so I'm hoping I'll finally get to catch them. I hope they'll get out there and tour again, and hopefully they'll come to my area on a day that will work for me. But anyway, but Bret Michaels is 60 years of age now, so he was let's see here. He was on Sirius XM's Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk, and on February 15th is when he was on that radio show with Eddie Trunk, and he swore that they would definitely tour again. So anyway, so Bret, make sure you do that, because I got to catch you in Poison finally, and I'm anxious to see what other bands you have with you guys. Anyway, Mick Mars, ex lead guitarist for Motley Crue, he quoted massively thick ideas for a second solo album. The Other Side of Mars will be out on February 23rd. That's just around the corner, on a Mick's own label, 1313 LLC, in partnership with MRI Records. So anyway, so he doesn't even have the first album out yet, and he's already planning on a second one. I know he's also has some ideas for a third solo album too, I think. So anyway, then longtime Helix drummer Greg Fritt, has died, or Hens, I'm sorry. I have trouble reading my own writing sometimes. Greg Fritt Hens died at age 68 after a long battle with cancer just recently. Hens joined Helix in 1982 and was with him until 96, and then he rejoined again 13 years later. So he was with Helix for a total of 40 years. Helix has 14 albums. The latest album was Old School, that was recorded in 2019. That was the latest album they did. Let's see here. But yeah, I was going to tell you guys, if you haven't listened to Mick Mars' solo project yet, that's coming out, check it out. It's really good, I think, so far. A little different than what Motley Crue is. It's a little darker type stuff, I think. But it's really good music, really good metal. So check that out. Definitely check out Mick Mars's videos from the Other Side of Mars album that's coming out. And again, that'll be out on February 23rd. So, but some of the albums that Greg Fritt's Hens was involved with was, let's see here, from 1981 from Helix, some of the big hits and albums. It's Too Late was a big hit in 1981, and that's on the White Lace and Black Leather album. And then let's see here, and then 1983 Heavy Metal Love from the let's see, No Rest for the Wicked album. That was another big hit, Heavy Metal Love. And then let's see, another one from that album was Does a Fool Ever Learn, as well as Never Want to Lose You. And then in 1984, Gimme Gimme Good Lovin'. Um, let's see here, was from the album Walkin' on the Razor's Edge album, along with Rock You, which I remember the song Rock You. That was an awesome song. Really great song. Anything You Want from that album as well. And then 1985, Deep Cuts the Knife from the Long Way to Heaven album. And then also on that album was The Kids Are All Shaken as well. So, and then Feel the Fire from 1984 is another big hit. And then in 1990, The Storm from the album Back for Another Taste as well. Not sure what the hits would have been if there was any hits on the 2019 album, Old School from Helix, but just some of the albums and singles that were involved with Helix that they put out. Let's see here. And then Ace Frehley has a new teaser trailer out for another single off his new album, 10,000 Volts, which will be out. Let's see, that's going to be out in just a few days, I think, that 10,000 Volts album from Ace Frehley, but it's had really great reviews so far. So, and it's produced by by Ace and Steve Brown from Trickster. So check out that new album when it comes out. Make sure you get that ordered. They're selling fast. I got mine pre-ordered. Hopefully that'll be coming pretty quickly. But also check out his other single, "Walking on the Moon," that is out right now. You can catch that on YouTube. But what I'm hearing so far in this new album is really great. I got all of Ace Frehley's albums, and maybe I'll do a podcast based around some of the Ace Frehley solo albums here sometime. But all my solo albums I love, and I love when he was with the band he started called Frehley's Comet. I got their albums as well. They're all great. They really are. And this new album, from what I'm hearing so far, is really, really good so far. So I'm really anxious to get that. Hopefully I can keep this lit now. Hopefully it won't burn out on me anymore. But right now I'm getting a lot of cedar. And let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if there's really any hay taste notes, but I'm getting cedar definitely. Maybe some oak. A lot of great smoke coming off of it still, and it's burning pretty evenly overall. Just some slight unevenness, but nothing major, nothing to worry about. But it seems like it's doing pretty good right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take off that first band, though. See if I can get this off. But anyway, I try to keep the bands on there as long as I can. I've discussed in some of my past podcasts, if you take those bands off too soon, sometimes your cigar will crack or unravel on you. There's a pectin that holds that band on, and if you pull it off too soon before your cigar gets warmed up in that area, it will pull some of the wrapper off with it sometimes, and then your wrapper on your cigar will start cracking and coming apart on you. So I suggest that you leave your bands on as long as you can. And it's just, I love looking at them while I smoke my cigars too, if they're really neat cigar bands. So for me, I just love the visual. I love the visual stuff from the bands. It just makes my cigars feel more special and more high class, I guess, maybe. Anyway, so let's see here. I think that's, well, let's see. I got a few other things here for you guys. AC/DC has announced some European tour dates, which I hope will maybe go on into the States eventually. And they've added 3 new dates to it as well. But they will start in Gelson, Gherkin, Germany, and then and that's on May 17th of 2024, and then they'll end it on August 17th in Dublin, Ireland, and then maybe they'll start up in the States. I'm a little disappointed that Cliff Williams won't be with them. He's decided not to tour due to some health issues. So anyway, so the lineup for AC/DC is going to be Matt Logg on drums. He's been with Slash's Snake Pit. He's been with Alice Cooper in the past. He's also been drumming for Alanis Morissette. So Matt Logg is going to be on drums instead of Chris Slade or let's see. Chris Slade had been playing drums for him, so he'll be replacing Chris Slade on this tour. When they did the Power, let's see, I'm trying to remember the festival they did this last year in California, the Power Trip Festival. They had Matt Logg for that show. I wish Phil Rudd could be back playing drums with him again. I miss Phil Rudd, definitely. So it's going to be Brian Johnson on vocals, of course, and then Angus and Stevie Young. Of course, Stevie Young came back in after Malcolm passed away. Rest in peace, Malcolm. You're missed to this day. So it'll be Angus and Stevie Young on lead and rhythm guitars. And then Chris Chaney on bass to fill in for Cliff Williams. And Chris Chaney's been involved with, let's see here, Jane's Addiction. He was a bass player for Jane's Addiction. I do want to see him, but I'm disappointed that Cliff Williams won't be with him. You know, I really wish, I always hope that Phil Rudd would come back and play again with AC/DC, but I know he's had a lot of personal issues to deal with, so. And then the last news that I got for you guys today, Bruce Dickinson, lead singer for Iron Maiden, he has a new album coming out called the Mandrake Project, and that'll be released on March 1st via BMG Records. And then Bruce is planning a 4-month tour with his new band. So once that tour is over, then Iron Maiden will start back up on their tour again. So anyway, for more news, if you're interested to see what else is going on out there, go to blabbermouth.net. And for the birthdays, I always go to loudwire.com to get all the current birthdays that are happening for each month. So anyway, so those are the websites you can go to check out birthdays or all the latest birthdays in the hard rock heavy metal world, or all the latest news in metal hard rock. So anyway, well, let's get on to the really good stuff today. I don't even know where to start with this band. I got to work with them in 1990, I got to work with them in 1990 during the Against the Law tour, and so you can see me right there, right there. I was doing drum tech for Robert Sweet at the time during the Against the Law tour, so there's a photo of me there. And then just some guitar picks and one of my backstage passes there, some guitar picks that were used. I've got my original ticket from when I got to see them. They were the first concert I got to see. Trying to get this at a good angle for you, but right there is my ticket from the Tell the Devil tour from January 15th, 1987. And that was at the Paramount Theater in Denver, Colorado. And then here's a ticket from a club that I actually did work at when I wasn't doing concert production, from Passion Theater in Miami Beach, Florida. And that ticket's from Monday, October 22nd of 1990. So anyway, so there's that I had framed for a while. And then I got all the guys' autographs there. And of course, Timothy Gaines is in there, and Oz and Michael and Robert. So I've got all their autographs on that. And that picture came out of I think it might have came out of, I'm trying to think of the heavy metal magazines I always bought. But that came out one of my metal magazines at the time. Anyway, so I wanted to show that to you today. pretty special. That's pretty special to me because Stryper were my besides Kiss, my other favorite band, and was a huge fan of Stryper before I even got to work with them. I was introduced to Stryper from I was in a youth group growing up, and this guy or this kid that I hung out with, he thought they were too heavy. He didn't like them, so he passed on their music to me, and I just fell in love with them immediately. And I just couldn't get enough of them after I listened to them. And the cassettes he passed on to me was the Yellow and Black Attack from 1983, and Reason for the Season, which was a two. It only had 2 songs on the cassette, which was Winter Wonderland. So it was kind of a Christmas cassette. The Winter Wonderland, and the other song that was on there was Reason for the Season, that they wrote themselves. So that was the other album that he passed on to me, and I just fell in love with Stryper. And I've been such a huge fan of them ever since. And then unfortunately I saw him in concert, like I said, 1987 during the To Help the Devil tour. Got to be in the front. Got my ears blown out from the amps. And couldn't hear for probably 2 weeks after that show. But they were huge on MTV at the time. They had the hits Calling on You and To Help the Devil, Free, More Than a Man was another one. And I got to shake their hands as they left the stage when I saw them in Denver. And again, that was my first concert. And the Paramount Theater was awesome. It was such an awesome theater. And I'll never forget that show. After that show ended that night, walking outside, it was just snowing. It was so white outside. It was just a beautiful night in Denver. And getting to see my heroes for the first time, my first concert, it was just awesome. And I hate to say it, but I joined a youth group. I was walking down the school hallway and overheard some kids talking about they were going to go see Stryper with their youth group. And this concert was going to be like 3 months later. And so I joined the youth group and went to this youth group to just so I could get to the Stryper show. So of course they let me go to the Stryper show with them. And then after the Stryper show was over, I ended up quitting. I didn't care for the person that was running the youth group. He was, I don't know. He wasn't someone I envisioned that would run a youth group, I guess. He was just kind of a crude guy. He was actually one of our teachers in school. He was a teacher for a mechanics, like small mechanics kind of a class. We worked on lawnmowers and just small engines. And he just wasn't a guy that I looked up to very much. He just wasn't a very nice guy, kind of a crude guy. And I thought, this guy should not be a youth pastor. But so I ended up quitting that youth group after that concert, after I got to go see that concert. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a band called Hammer's Rural, but that's who opened up for him. They were not liked by the crowd very much, and people were throwing Bibles at them and everything. And so Hammer's Rural decided to stop playing and let Stryper come on. But they did tell the crowd that they were big supporters of Stryper and what they were doing, and they were upset by how the crowd reacted. I thought it was kind of bullshit how the crowd acted towards Hammer's Rural, even though they weren't considered Christian. But so, of course, in that audience, Stryper's always played to non-Christian audiences. They do play in churches once in a while for maybe some acoustic sessions or something, but they mainly play public venues and really like to be, in the public and in the mainstream to reach, people that are really hurting in their lives, So they've never wanted to play Christian audiences. They've always wanted to play to audiences that have never heard, anything about God or the Bible, or, to reach those people that are just hurting in life, So I was really disappointed how some of the people acted during that show, but I know that show changed a lot of people's lives at the end of that night. So I hope people that were judging Hammer's Rural and throwing stuff at them, I hope they were sorry about that at the end of the show, I hope. But anyway, so that was my first concert experience, was getting to see Stryper. just seeing their yellow and black outfits that they wore during their videos on MTV, and just getting to be in their presence. It was just breathtaking, and it was probably the most incredible night of my life. And after I got to shake hands with them, you know, they reached down to shake your hand before they left the stage, and I got to shake their hands, and I told myself that I was going to work with these guys eventually, and sure enough, in 1990, got the opportunity to work with them and do security for them and do some drum tech for Robert. And Trickster was opening up for him during that tour at the time. Trickster was just starting out, and they went on to open up for Kiss, and during the I want to say it was the Revenge tour that Trickster got to open up for them on the Revenge tour, and they end up opening up for the Scorpions on some of their shows. So they went on to do big things, and of course, like I had mentioned, Steve Brown, that's in Trickster. He helped produce the new Ace Frehley album. So Trickster made a big name for themselves, and they did some touring with Firehouse and stuff like that too, and Warrant, off and on over the years after that. So they made a great name for themselves, and during a podcast I'll have to show you some of my Trickster albums, I guess, sometime. But anyway, I've loved this band. I've kept in touch with them over the years. Anytime they're in the area, I get to go see them and hang out with them and go backstage with them and just get to hang out before and after the show. And of course, I always make sure I'm out in the audience watching them. But when I worked with them in 1990, I would stay backstage and watch them, and then I'd go out in the audience and watch them. And I've got pictures from that show back in 1990 in Miami Beach, one of the shows. And I don't have those photos with me, but I do have some other photos I'll show you here in a little bit from when I saw them recently, this last summer. So the cigar's still burning good for me. It's still got some slight uneven burns, but nothing major. Nothing major yet. And I'm in the second third right now. I want to say I'm starting to get a little more chocolate taste to it, a little more coffee taste to it. The peppers kind of calmed down. Definitely getting some creaminess out of this, definitely for sure. I'm getting a lot of stuff out of the cigar. It's really enjoyable, and I'm really liking the cigar. I definitely recommend the cigar to you guys. If you've had the cigar, you've had any of the other cigars from Family Boy Loyalty, let me know what experiences you've had with it. Let me know what taste notes you got out of it, how it was for you construction-wise, burning the burn line, how that was, how the smoke and aromas were. Whatever you can think of, let me know all your experiences. But anyway, Striper, again, they're considered Christian metal, even though Striper doesn't consider themselves Christian metal. But they were a big part of the LA scene on the Strip. They've played at all the old clubs, at the Whiskey, and I'm thinking of all the other clubs that's on the Sunset Strip that they've played. Whiskey a Go-Go. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the other clubs they've played at, but they were right there with, going way back, Anthrax even opened up for Striper. Motley Crue's opened up for Striper way back when Striper was playing the Strip. And they were called Rock's Regime at the time, and they were using the yellow and black colors, but they decided to go with Striper. And Striper stands for Salvation Through Redemption, Yielding Peace and Everlasting Righteousness. And they went with the yellow and black because they wanted to have yellow and black colors as caution colors, don't go to hell. Kind of like if you see any kind of caution signs, they're always yellow and black. So that was their theme, and they've stayed with that theme still. They don't have the outfits like they used to. They still got yellow and black outfits, but they're not like what they were in the 80s, but still keeping with that yellow and black kind of theme. And let's see here. So And believe it or not, some of the past members that they've had was CC DeVille, Doug Ulrich, I'm sorry, that's been with Whitesnake and Dio. He even was with them for a real short little time, just like the way CC DeVille was from Poison. CC DeVille didn't stay with them because at the time when they were rehearsing, CC DeVille had to drive all the way across LA to get to where they were. So they didn't. He didn't like the drive, and so he decided to not stay with them. But some of the other past members, Eric Johnson, John Voorhees, Matt Herrick. Matt stepped in for Timothy Gaines during the To Help the Devil time. They were in the middle of doing all the photo shoots, and Timothy Gaines had decided he was going to quit Striper at the time, and so they brought in Matt Hirsch, which was with Leather Wolf, like I said, and he came in to step in to play bass, and he was involved in some of the photo shoots. And I wish I had one of my old Metal magazine photos, but I've actually got the original photo that was brought out. I think it was a Metal Edge, where Matt Hirsch is with them during that photo shoot instead of Timothy Gaines. And I've actually got something I'll show you that he is on. It's from the old photo shoot. It's on a backstage pass I got, and Matt's on that. And so I'll show that to you here just shortly. Anyway, so he filled in for a short time too. And then, of course, Timothy Gaines decided not to quit Striper. So he came back in and finished up all the publicity photos and everything, and went on to stay with Striper for a little while. So he was with them for a short time. And then Kenny Metcalf, I'm not sure who Kenny Metcalf is, but he was a member for a short time. And then Tracy Ferry was with Striper. They had, and I'll get into it, but they brought out an album called Reborn, and so and that was in 2005. So Tracy Ferry filled in for Timothy Gaines during that tour, and then Timothy Gaines came back again. I'm not sure what Timothy Gaines at the time, he was kind of battling his faith a little bit. I think he was not sure where he was in his faith and was trying to find himself again, I think, and he was doing some solo stuff and doing some stuff for his church. So he left for about a year, but then came back. But he was with them during their reunion tour that happened. That was in 2003, 2004 that they did the reunion tour. Striper did, and so Timothy Gaines was with them during that time. And then again, he came back after the Reborn tour. So Timothy Gaines was with them off and on, over the years. And then unfortunately, Timothy Gaines, let's see here. Timothy Gaines left again, or he was released from Striper, I should say. And that was in 2017 that he was officially out of Striper. And they've had Perry Richardson in for him. So, but anyway, so let's see here. So the original members that stuck was Michael Sweet, vocals, rhythm guitars, songwriter, Robert Sweet, visual timekeeper, drummer, visual timekeeper, Oz Fox, lead guitars, backing vocals, some lead vocals back in the early 90s. Michael had left Striper to start kind of finding himself, and things just weren't going very good in Striper around 92, 93. So Michael Sweet left, and then Oz Fox took over lead vocals. And when you go see Striper, you'll still see Oz Fox still sing some lead vocals off and on. But for the most part, Oz does backing vocals. So after Michael left, there was a short time where it was just a trio. It was just Oz, Robert, and Timothy Gaines at the time. So anyway, but those were the original members: Michael Sweet, Robert Sweet, Oz Fox, Timothy Gaines. So And Stryper's been together since, like I said, they officially became Stryper in '83, and then they ended it in '93, and then they started back up in 2003, and they're still going to this day. A lot of great albums. And then they had a couple reunion shows from 1999 through 2001. Had two reunion shows. Had kind of a Stryper fest, kind of a weekend type of thing at the time back in California. And after the second reunion show they did, that fans were really wanting, they decided to get back together and try it again, and they were getting along again, and both all had the same vision of what they wanted to see Stryper do and how they want to see their future, how their future would be. And so from 1999 till now, they just keep getting stronger and stronger. Their music keeps getting better and better, and they've been great, and I love everything they've done. So anyway, so they're still doing good. But right now the current members are Michael Sweet, Robert Sweet, Oz Fox, and Perry Richardson. And again, Perry Richardson joined in 2007 or 17 after Timothy Gaines was released from Stryper, just due to some personal differences between him and the other guys. But they keep getting better and better, and right now they're working on another album. They did bring out a solo album just now, or I'm sorry, an acoustic album. So right now, if you go to Stryper.com, you can pick up the new album they've got. It's an acoustic album that they did at Spirit House, and it's over in Massachusetts. Trying to remember the name of the town. Northampton, Massachusetts, is where they recorded this acoustic album. It's a live album, and then there's a DVD or Blu-ray that you can get with it, so you can see the live performance. And it's not available to stream or anything like that, so if you want to see it, you got to purchase that. And if you get the CD DVD combos 33, if you get the CD Blu-ray combos 37, and then for another $1 you can get an official Stryper candy bar with it right now. So anyway, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But Michael Sweet, lead vocals. He was born on July 4th, 1963, in it'd be Whittier, California. And then Robert Sweet, he was born on March 2nd, 1960. He was born in, let's see here, Lanero, California, I think is the name of the town he was born in. And then Oz Fox was born on June 18th, 1961, and he was born in Whittier, California as well. And then Perry Richardson, he was born on July 7th, 1963, and he was born in Conway, South Carolina, and he's at the age of 60 right now. But in the very beginning of Stryper, well, his Rock's regime, I guess, probably, Oz Fox was, they all went to high school together, for one. They all went to high school except for Timothy Gaines. As they wanted to become Stryper, changed their name to Stryper, they were looking for a new bass player, and they caught Timothy Gaines playing for a band called Stormer, and they really wanted him. So Timothy Gaines finally did leave Stormer, became a Christian, and decided to join Stryper when Michael, Robert, and Oz asked him to join, so he decided to join. But in the very beginning, Oz Fox was just doing guitar tech and helping them set up for the little shows they were doing on the Sunset Strip and in the very beginning. So, but I kind of want to get into their discography or albums, and I got some kind of rarities here and different things. But let me see here where to start. But their first album was Stryper, The Yellow and Black Attack. This came out in 1983. And this is not the original cover. The original cover is right here. That's the original cover, and then there's the back of it right there. And the big hits they had on this was Loud and Clear, From Wrong to Right, You Know What to Do. Basically every song on here was pretty great and awesome, and they were all hits in my book. Come On Rock, You Won't Be Lonely, Loving You. They've done all those songs off this album on their shows. Anyway, so all written by Michael Sweet, Robert Sweet, Timothy Gaines Oz. They all had writing parts in this album. So the difference between this album and this album, they added "Reason for the Season" on it. That was from their second album, which was just a two song LP, kind of a Christmas album. Like I said, I had mentioned that "Reason for the Season" and "Winter Wonderland" were the two songs on this that they wrote. Well, they didn't write "Winter Wonderland," I'm sorry, but "Reason for the Season" they wrote. And this came out in 1983 as well, I believe. No, I'm sorry, 1984 is when this album came out. So 1983, this was the original album right there. That was the original. And then later on they brought this out. And this came out in 1986 is when they re-brought this album cover out. There's the back of it right there. Same songs on it as the original, but they just added "Reason for the Season" to it, that they had written on that 2LP song or album. So anyway, but the first album was Stryper Yellow and Black Attack. So that was the very first album. And again, "Reason for the Season" was the second album they brought out the next year right there. And let's see here. And then the third album they brought out was was "Soldiers Under Command." There's the back of it right there. And I've also got the cassette to it right there. The inside has the same picture as this back does, so I won't open the CD up, but there's that. And these are all on Enigma Records. Later had changed over to Hollywood Records. Enigma was sold and bought out by Hollywood Records. So it was changed to Hollywood Records was the name of that. Was the name of the company they ended up being with. But this album's kind of rare here. If you're lucky to find it, you can find the white album, and I got the white album on it. It's very limited, but I was able to pick this up on eBay from someone a long time ago. But as you can see, it's on Enigma Records. But colored vinyls, I think at the time were kind of rare. They did ever so often, a group would have a colored vinyl. I remember my mom had an Elvis Presley album. It was called Moody Blue. And it had a clear blue vinyl in it. And my mom got lucky enough to get that album. And my brother, he was pretty small, wanted that album. And of course, my mom didn't realize it'd be worth money. And then my brother colored on it and stuff when he was little. I don't know why my mom let my brother have that album. But he liked playing it, so he'd play it. But they ended up coloring all over it for some reason. Very limited white vinyl. So very happy to have this. One of my favorite albums. And let me read off the songs on this. Had a lot of hits on this album too. "Soldiers Under Command," "Makes Me Want to Sing," "Together Forever," "First Love," "The Rock That Makes Me Roll," "Reach Out," "Together as One," "Surrender," and "Battle Hymn of the Republic." So all the songs on this album were a hit as well. And I've got a spaceship flying over me right now. So anyway, okay, it's gone. So anyway, but so in the early days during the Soldiers Under Command tour, they would play every song off this album as well as every song off the Yellow and Black Attack. Every song they wrote was a hit. And then in 1986, "To Help the Devil" came out. And there's the inside right there. And I'll pull this out. Just more great photos of the band right there. So anyway, "To Help the Devil" in 1986. And this was not the original cover. I got the original cover right here, which was banned or taken out of the stores right there. And this is an import that I picked up. I'm trying to remember what country this came from. I can't read some of the some of this on here because it's not in English. But anyway, this was the original cover. I think I got this from, God, I wish I could remember the country this came from. Boy, I wish I could remember. I want to say Spain or something like that. I think it was from Spain, this import, this album. So anyway, that is the original cover right there. There's the back of it. And I've also got an autographed copy that I've got framed with all the original guys that I was able to get signed by them quite a while back. Anyway, so I've got that framed. One of my favorite things that I've ever had signed, since it was the first tour I got to see him on, and everything. I just love this, that I got this album signed by him. This will always be probably my favorite album of Stryper. Definitely one of my favorite albums of theirs. And then in 2014, I got to go see him on August 2nd over in Sheridan, Wyoming with my brother. And we got to go backstage and hang out with the guys, of course. And my brother got to go back with me. But they had this photo there that you could get signed. And so they signed this for me. And so I love that picture from the Tell It the Devil tour from that era. So I got that signed by all the original guys. And love, that will always be a cherished photo of mine since I got to see them. And that was the last time I got to see him with Timothy Gaines before he was released. So anyway, and then from the Tell It the Devil tour, I've got this old calendar and just a lot of old photos of them in there. And then there's some photos during the Tell It the Devil tour, during some other photo shoots. There's the picture of the Soldiers Under Command album cover. And this came out in 1987, this calendar. There's Oz. But I don't know if you can find this calendar anymore. And then there's Michael right there. I love the outfits they wore during these photos. And then, of course, there's the famous Tell It the Devil album the photo they did for the main photo they did for that tour. That was on their back of their album cover. Here's a picture from the Soldiers Under Command era. And then there's Timothy Gaines right there. And that's it for the photos in that. And again, there's the front of that calendar. No, I'm sorry, that was from 1988. So I'm sorry, this was not from the Tell It the Devil tour. This was from the In God We Trust tour. I apologize. Anyway, but very rare thing to collect or have. So I'm glad I got that. I had to rebuy this from somebody on eBay, of course, a long time ago. The original one I had in a box in my parents' basement. Had a leak in the ceiling, and it got into my box, and it ruined the calendar I had at the time. But anyway, I'll show you some backstage passes here too. So here's the photo shoot that they had done with Matt Hurich from Leatherwolf. This was from the same picture that I got out of, I think it was Metal Edge. So this was during a music expo that Stryper did on May 21st, 2000. This was one of the backstage passes you could get to meet the band at the time. And unfortunately, I was not at this show, but again, there's Matt Hurich right there, filling in for Timothy Gaines during that photo shoot. And then they redid this photo with Timothy Gaines in it as well. So, but anyway, so there's a kind of a neat old backstage pass. And then I got a backstage pass from the Soldiers Under Command tour. And then here's one from the In God We Trust tour. And then here's Here's a backstage pass from Trickster when they opened up for when they were opening up for Striper on the Against the Law tour in 1990. This was when they were first starting out, so I got their backstage pass. And then here's my backstage pass from the Against the Law tour, autographed by everybody, right there. So anyway, so always cherish those little pieces that I got from them, and definitely glad I got those from those guys. And then I kind of wanted to show you a couple rare pieces I've got. I got this. I got this from the In God We Trust tour. Well, In God We Trust album. It's the single "Always There for You." That first single they brought off of that album. The In God We Trust album from 1988, the year I graduated from high school. And then here's the back of it right there. So they got Always There for You and In God We Trust from the In God We Trust album. Really cool piece. Next time I see those guys, I gotta remember to take this with me and have those guys sign it. I'd like to have Oz and Robert and Michael sign that. I haven't had a chance to have them sign that for me yet. I wish I could get Timothy Gaines to sign it too. That would be really cool. And then the next thing I got is this picture disc. Not sure, I can't remember how I got a hold of this. I'm pretty sure I got it on eBay as well, but a picture disc from the Tell It the Devil album. And let's see here, I'm trying to remember if there's a picture on, but yeah. So there's that side. And then here's the back of it right there, all from the Tell the Devil photo sessions. And I've got that protected in a good record sleeve right there. And then with this, it also came with this poster from the Tell the Devil tour, of course, too. So really cool poster. And I've never hung it up or anything. I've always kept it with the album. But try to get you guys to be able to see that. So there's the top of it. And there's the rest of it right there. And of course, those all came off the Tell the Devil album as well. But very rare piece as well. Try to get this folded back up the way it needs to here. Okay, there we go. Got that back where it needs to be. So another rare piece from the Tell the Devil tour. From that album they brought out at the time. Very limited on these picture discs, and yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can get those guys to sign this as well. I'm not sure why I didn't have them sign that when I saw them this last summer. I should have taken all this with me. I didn't want to bother them with too much stuff since they had, you know, a lot going on, of course, at the time. But I'm sure they would have been glad to sign it for me if I would have taken it. But I'll eventually get them to sign it, I'm sure. So the next time I see them, I'll probably take these with me and have them sign them. So I'll get this all put back together here. So anyway, so Tell It the Devil, 1986, and some of the big songs they had on this was, of course, Tell It the Devil, Calling on You, Free, The Way, sing-along song, Holding On, Rockin' the World, All of Me, More Than a Man. Let's see, Honestly went to #1 on MTV. We had the most requests, so that really brought their popularity up a lot on MTV. And of course, Calling on You and Free and More Than a Man were just huge hits, as well as Tell It the Devil. I still hear on Hair Nation, I still hear Striper once in a while on there. They play Tell It the Devil, or sometimes Honestly or Free they'll play on there. So, and then in 1988, Striper Against the Law, or I'm sorry, Striper In God We Trust. I apologize. Against In God We Trust. And the back or the back looks like the inside, so I won't open that up. But again, on Enigma Records, then went to Hollywood Records. But some of the big songs that they had on here was "In God We Trust," of course, that was the first single. "Always There for You," "Keep the Fire Burning," and let's see here. Then they had a really fast, hard-hitting song in the end called "The Rain." So that was another big hit. If you haven't listened to this album, I think it's really good, but Michael was not happy with it. They recorded it really fast, and they didn't take more time on it. So the recording, so I guess the recording wasn't where they wanted it. Wasn't where Michael wanted it exactly. The quality of the recording, I guess I should say, wasn't where he wanted it, and it was too commercial, he thought, compared to the other albums. So it wasn't as it didn't make it for popularity wise as much as "Tell It the Devil" and "Soldiers Under Command, Yellow and Black Attack," but they still had some great songs off of it. And I another great song that he has on here is "Lonely." That Striper has on there. I think "Lonely" is a great song. Not a real fast song, kind of a slower, toned down kind of a song. "Keep the Fire Burning" was a great song. Let's see here. "The World of You and I," really good ballad. And Michael's voice was so high in that song, it was just incredible. "Come to the Everlife," another great song. A little bit of a harder song. Catchy, a lot of hooks in that song. And then here we go, from 1990, "Against the Law." There's the back of it right there. And I think so there's the inside right there. And some of the songs they had on this that were really good was "Against the Law," of course, "Two-Time Woman," "Rock the People," "Two Bodies, One Mind, One Soul," "Not That Kind of Guy," "Shining Star," that trying to remember who wrote "Shining Star." Was it? It was Earth, Wind, and Fire that wrote that song. "Ordinary Man," "Lady," "Caught in the Middle," good hard-hitting song. "All for One," and "Rock the Hell Out of You," the last song on this album, which was a really hard, fast kind of a song. Really great song. But anyway, so "Against the Law," one of my favorite albums of theirs, of course. So anyway, that was the tour I got to work with them on, was the "Against the Law" tour. And then they brought out this greatest hits album called "Can't Stop the Rock." And so they had their greatest hits on this, and then they had wrote "Believe" and "Can't Stop the Rock." Those were the two songs they wrote for this album. And this was kind of during the time when Michael Sweet pretty much was leaving the band. But really good album. Some of their hits on here was, of course, "Soldiers Under Command," "Free," "Always There for You, Lady," "Tell It the Devil," "In God We Trust," honestly. "Two Bodies, One Mind, One Soul," "Together as One," "You Know What to Do" were the songs they put on this. And then again, "Believe" and "Can't Stop the Rock" they wrote for this album. So those two songs are really good on there. And this came out in 1980. Let's see here. Oh, let's see here. I'm trying to remember what year this came out. 1991. So Michael had left about a year later after that came out. And then they had a hiatus for a little while. Like I said, around 99 to 2001, they had done a couple shows, and the fans were really wanting to see them come back. Well, then they finally decided to come back. So they did a reunion tour around 2003, 2004, and brought this album out. 7 weeks live in America from 2003. There's the back of it right there. So this was a great comeback album for them. For live, I thought them coming back with a live album was a great thing to do, because when they had done their reunion shows in 99 and through 2001, people were really wanting to see Striper come back. and so they did, and they came back with a vengeance. So on this live album, a sing-along song makes me want to sing Calling on You, Free, More Than a Man, Caught in the Middle, Reach Out, and let's see here, Reach Out, Loud and Clear, Out of the Way, Soldiers Under Command, To Help the Devil. Honestly, they sang Winter Wonderland on this, and then they had a closing prayer in the end. So anyway, so this was with Michael Sweet, Robert Sweet, Oz Fox, Timothy Gaines on this album here. And then the following year in 2000, well, let's see here. So this came out, 2004 was that live album they brought out. And then they brought out Reborn in 2005 with Tracy Ferry involved, filling in on bass for Timothy Gaines. And it was a good album. It wasn't their best work, but I think it was a good comeback album. I thought it was a way to really get them kind of going again. And I wish I had pictures of me and Striper. I got to go hang out with them during this tour, or during the show that I saw him in Denver, Colorado at the time. There's the other back of it there. That's just some of the photos from the back and on the inside. Got to go see those guys and hang out with them a little bit in Denver, Colorado. And they played, I'm trying to remember what theater they played at. I wish I could remember the name of the theater. Maybe it'll come back to me, but got to hang out with the guys, and me and Michael hugged, and it was like we had never stopped seeing each other at the time. He remembered me, of course. So I hadn't seen Michael at the time since 1990, and so 15 years later, I got to see Michael and everybody, and everybody was so great to hang out with again and be around, and you know, me and Michael hung out and talked a lot about our experiences during 1990, and you know, the guys weren't happy with how things were going. I mean, they, you know, during that time, a lot of bands were being dropped from their contracts, and so Striper was not. They weren't happy during the Against the Law tour. You could just tell that they were just not happy. They went from, in the beginning, playing small arenas to playing big arenas during the, during the In God We Trust tour, going back to clubs again, having to kind of start over, and they were trying to recover from being dropped from, Enigma Records. And, I'm sorry, at the time they were still with Enigma Records, but the whole, the metal scene changed a lot, and a lot of the record companies started getting into the grunge bands, and like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and stuff like that. So, a lot of those bands, just weren't popular like they had been, and were trying to find new creative ways to get their popularity back, and trying to fight and compete against with all the grunge bands and everything. And very few bands were still making it, during that time and doing good. Just a handful of bands. Kiss was still going, Def Leppard, Metallica, trying to think of some other bands that were going at the time that were still doing good. The Scorpions. There were still a lot of bands that had been around a long time that were still doing really well. But fortunately, Striper kind of got put to the wayside, along with Poison and, Cinderella, Quiet Riot. Just a lot of the bands that were really big in the 80s. Cinderella, if I didn't mention them. Striper's trying to find their way back to getting their popularity back again. And so they changed their whole image. At the time, they went to kind of the grunge look and changed their music style a lot to the kind of the grunge sound. But that just didn't work, like they thought it would. But I still think Against the Law, that 90s era of theirs, I think was a great era. And I thought that album was great. I had wished it would have done better. But Striper found their way back eventually, and they're bigger than ever, and they've got a huge following again, and they're bigger than ever. They really are. So, and then in 2007, they brought out the old demos the Rocks Regime demos. So these versions are way different than what they were on the other albums. From Wrong to Right on this, My Love I'll Always Show, which My Love I'll Always Show was a slow song on the Yellow and Black Attack, or it was a fast song on the Yellow and Black Attack, but it was slow on this. And then Loud and Clear, You Know What to Do, You Won't Be Lonely, Come On and Rock, and then Tank, which was a drum solo by Robert, Honestly. And Honestly was a little faster song on this, where Honestly was a slow song on the Tell It the Devil album. So way different versions. If you never heard this, you need to check it out. Here's an old photo, a Striper from the very beginning. That's what their outfits look like. I guess the same kind of photo that's on the front there. But anyway, this is a really interesting album. If you've never listened to it and you can find it, check it out. So it says, before the major label record deals, before multi-platinum albums, before chart-topping videos, before history was made, there was Rock's Regime. In 1983, brothers Robert and Michael Sweet teamed up with high school classmate Oz Fox and local bass hero Timothy Gaines to form a band that would forever change the world. And would forever change the history of Christian rock music. The four guys released a demo under the name Rock's Regime and started playing the local Hollywood club circuit. This band eventually caught the ears of Enigma Records, and soon afterward would change their name to Striper and release their first national album, The Yellow and Black Attack. Let's see here. The Yellow and Black Attack, Striper would go on to sell millions and millions of records and tour the world, sharing their music and their faith. Before all of this, however, there was the Rock's Regime demos. You are listening to the original release of the Rock's Regime demos. There are no overdubs or re-recordings. This is the way Striper sounded before they were Striper, raw, natural, and destined to change the history of music. So that was on the inside of the album that I just read. So anyway, and boy, they went on to conquer the world, that's for sure. And to this day, there's a lot of musicians that didn't like him back in that day, but really respect him now. Michael Sweets, he's been respected by even King Diamond from Merciful Fate. He's been great friends with Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. He's earned the respect from so many bands. I could go on and on with all the people that respect him now. And he's never lost his voice. He's still strong as ever with his voice. He's had a few little health problems along the years, but just some issues with one of his eyes that he's had to have surgery on. So once in a while he's had a patch over his eye when he's done any publicity photos or played live or whatever. But other than that, he's been in great health overall. I know he has struggled with, I'm trying to think of what it was that he was struggling with off and on. I'm trying to remember what it was. Other than his eye, there's something else he was struggling with a little bit, but he's doing good. Hopefully I'll think of what that was here in a second. And then this is, let's see here. I'm trying to remember who was involved in this next album still. Oh, Tracy Ferry was on this album. So actually, Tracy Ferry, Tracy Ferry that is with Boston to this day, that was on the Reborn tour and album. He is also involved in this album too. This was the Murder by Pride album, and this came out in 2009. And some of the great songs on this was Eclipse for the Sun, Four Leaf Clover, Peace of Mind, featuring Tom Scholz from Boston, which Peace of Mind's a Boston song. So they did a cover of that, but they got Tom Scholz on there with them during that recording. Alive, The Plan, Murder by Pride, great song. Mercy Over Blame, I Believe, Running in You, Love Is Why, Everything, My Love I'll Always Show. Another, they kind of redid that song that was off of the Yellow and Black, the Yellow and Black Attack album? No, that was off the Soldiers Under Command album, My Love Always Shows. So they redid that song on the end of that album there. There's the album on the inside right there. Some of the artwork I was going to show you. There's Oz. There's Tracy Ferry right there. I forgot he was involved with this album. There's the center of the album there. Let's see here. And then there's Robert Sweet. I love the imagery on his sunglasses there. And then Michael Sweet right there. So anyway, this album is a really great album. If you guys can find Murder by Pride, definitely check it out. I can't believe I forgot Tracy Ferry was on this album. So Tracy Ferry was with them, yeah, from 2005 through 2009, pretty much. And then in 2011, Stryper brought out this album called The Covering. So there's that. There's the back. And this was an album where they did all the covers from all the bands they looked up to, and which a lot of people gave them a lot of grief over this because they were singing non-Christian music or band, from bands that weren't Christian. I was gonna see if I could find a little bit of the artwork inside, but I love this artwork. I love in here too. It's just kind of comic book type stuff, based off of the Tell the Devil kind of era. It kind of seemed like. Anyway, so some of the songs they covered was let's see here. Set Me Free was a song they wrote for this album, which was really good. Blackout by the Scorpions. Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath with Dio. Lights Out by, let's see here. I'm going to have to get, let's see here. I think it was by UFO. Let's see here. It was written by, let's see here. P. Mogg, Parker Shanker, Michael Shanker, A. Parker, Michael Shanker. So I think it's from UFO. I believe it was UFO because I believe Michael Shanker was a part of UFO. Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. And let's see here. Highway Star by Deep Purple. And then Shout It Out Loud by Kiss. Over the Mountain by Ozzy Osbourne. The Trooper by Iron Maiden. Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. And then On Fire by Van Halen. An Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. And then they also wrote a song called God. So that was the other new song they put for this album. So God and Set Me Free were the two songs they wrote for this album. So really good album, paying tribute to all the metal bands they looked up to. So again, the covering right there. And Timothy Gaines had came back at this point and was a part of this. So anyway, but really good album from came out in 2011 on Big 3 Records. And I forgot that Murder by Pride was on Big 3 Records. So they had changed over to Big 3 Records. Rock's Regime Demos was on Deep South Records. And then this was on BMG Records as well. Let's see here. And then this one was on Deep South Records. So they've kind of changed record companies off and on a little bit there. So anyway, next album they did was called Second Coming, right there. And this was on Frontiers Records. But they redid all their big songs off of this. They wrote 2 new songs for this as well. It's called Bleeding from the Inside Out and Blackened. But anyway, as you can see, there's Timothy Gaines right there. That's back, involved with this album as well. So anyway, there's a photo of them on the inside there. So anyway, but this was a good album. They just pretty much recovered all the old hits that they had and re-recorded them. So, not one of my favorite albums. I like the original stuff better they did. And then, let's see here. Then we got No More Hell to Pay. And this came out on Frontiers Records as well in 2013. This was a tour that Stryper's doing when me and my brother got to go hang out with them, along with Lita Ford as well. Got to hang out with Lita Ford that day too. And this was, we got to go hang out with them in Sheridan, Wyoming. And they were playing the Rock and the Railroad Festival. And they had Vixen that day, LA Guns. Cheap Trick was the headliner. So it started out with LA Guns, and then Lita Ford was there as well, of course. And so there's the inside there. As you can see, I've got this autographed from all the original guys. Some of the big songs on this was No More Hell to Pay, Jesus Is Just Alright. That was written by, I'm trying to think of the band that was written from. Let's see here. Oh, I can't think of the name of that band. It was a band that my dad really was into. Wish I could think of the name of that band. Maybe it'll come back to me. But maybe you guys know who that is. Jesus Just Alright. Band that came out of the 70s. The One Legacy, Marching into Battle. Water into Wine, Sympathy was another big song of theirs. Renewed was the last song on this. But at this time, they were kind of getting ready to do the Tell the Devil. They were kind of doing one of those tours where they do the whole album from start to finish. So they were kind of at this time doing a Tell the Devil set as well, with the whole album sang live, the Tell the Devil album sang live from beginning to end. So there they are, and those are the original Yellow and Black Attack, or I'm sorry, the original albums from the Tell the Devil tour. Those are the original albums that they wore on stage and did their photo shoots with, that they're wearing there. So it's awesome that they could still fit into those. So anyway, but great album. And that came out again in 2013. And then they brought out Stryper Live from Whiskey A Go Go. And this was in 2014 they brought this out. And this was supporting the No More Hell to Pay album. So they were during that tour, they stopped at the Whiskey A Go Go and did a live set, and they put that out on DVD and CD. So there's the DVD and CD set there. Yeah, let's see here. There's some few little live shots in here. Right there. Timothy and Robert. And then there's a picture of the stage they were on right there. And then there's Oz and Michael right there. And then here's another couple shots there. But some of the songs they played on that album was, let's see. Let's see here. Legacy, Marching into Battle, You Know What to Do, Loud and Clear, Reach Out, Calling on You. Free and More Than a Man, The Rock That Makes Me Roll. No More Hell to Pay, Jesus Is Just Alright, Always There for You. All for One, The Way. Tell the Devil, Soldiers Under Command. So those were all the songs on that album that they brought out for that live set. And then Fallen. This came out in 2015 on Frontiers Records. Not much to show you on this. Well, maybe a little bit I can show you here. Comes with a sticker. Right there. There's a photo of the band there. Timothy got his hair cut short. But Michael, Oz, and there's, of course, I just showed you that, I think. And then there's Robert right there. But this was a really good album too. I really love this album. Had a lot of big hits off of this album. Let's see here. They had, I'll read off the songs here. Yahweh, Fallen, Pride, Big Screen Lies, Heaven, Love You Like I Do, All Over Again, After Forever, Till I Get What I Need, Let There Be Light, The Calling, Kings of Kings, are all the songs on that album there. And then they brought out Goddamn Evil, same artist for the original Tell It the Devil album that I showed you right here. Same artist that did this album cover. And he's also one that did this album too, as well. And this one as well here. Same artist that did those covers. So anyway, and then this was the first album that Perry Richardson was involved in. And I got that signed by those guys there. So some of the big hits on this was Sorry, which is probably one of my favorite songs to this day. The Valley, let's see here, Can't Live Without Your Love was another song of theirs. But a lot of great songs on this album. Goddamn Evil from 2018. So make sure you check that album out if you haven't yet. Really great album, probably one of their best, definitely since the Tell It the Devil era. And then we've got Even the Devil Believes. Perry Richardson still involved with these guys. I got this one autographed as well by those guys there. Of course, this was during COVID time, so of course they got the yellow and black masks on. There's Perry Richardson right there. This was actually the first album that he was involved with actually being a part of the recordings. Even though he had came in during the Goddamn Evil time, he was not a part of the recordings. He came in and played bass. Even though, and his picture is in the album, but I think Timothy Gaines had pretty much most of the recordings on this album, if I remember right. And I could be wrong. I want to see if they list him doing anything on this album. I want to see if Timothy Gaines had any of the recording rights on here. Let's see here. Yeah, they got Perry Richardson down as the bass player, of course, listed on here. So actually, I guess I'm wrong. This is the album that he actually was. It was this one here. I'm sorry. This is. I think this was the album that he actually did not. Let's see here. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, this was the album that he started touring with Stryper, but did not have anything to do with the recordings on this, even though his picture's in it. But this was actually the first album that Perry Richardson had any recordings with these guys that he got credit for. So anyway, Even the Devil Believes, great album. Some of the songs on this was Blood from Above, Make Love Great Again, Let Him In, Do unto Others, Even the Devil Believes, How to Fly, Divider, This I Pray, Invitation Only for God of Rock and Roll, Middle Finger Messiah. So anyway, great album. And then their recent album is The Final Battle right there. And this was the tour that I got to go hang out with Stryper at. Well, This was from this last, well, I got to see him this last summer. But this is the album they've been touring, is what I'm trying to say. The Final Battle. And again, this was the same artist that did the To Hell with the Devil album, along with the other albums I just showed you with all the artwork. So let me see here. Some photos here I'll show you. There's Michael with his patch. There's Robert. There's Oz. And then there's Perry Richardson right there. So anyway, great album. And some of the big songs off of this was Transgressor, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Same Old Story, Heart, Soul, Near, Out, Up, and In, Rise to the Call, The Way, the Truth, The Life, No Rest for the Wicked, Till Death Do Us Part, and Ashes to Ashes. But anyway, if you haven't heard this album yet, great album. You got to pick that up if you haven't heard it yet. So I suggest any of these albums, if you can find any of them, to listen to them and check them out. That's the last album. And then, of course, right now they're working on a new album. And they've got their acoustic album out right now that I mentioned. It's just, it's called Acousticized, on CD and Blu-ray or CD and DVD. And it was released on February 16th. So anyway, but here's a better look at my tour shirt from the Final Battle tour. And it's got tour dates on the back. So anyway, but that's it for my Striper stuff. I did want to show you this actually. When I was with them this last summer, which was May 24th, got some autographs there. My backstage pass, I got autographed, my meet and greet pass that they gave me while I was there. Got my CD autographed. There's a picture of me and the guys right there, up on the top there. And this guy here is David Enigma. He was there at the show. He's the one that signed Striper, along with Poison later, as well on Enigma Records. But he's the one that sold Enigma Records to Hollywood Records. So anyway, well, he sold Enigma Records, and then it was changed to Hollywood Records by the people that bought Enigma Records. So some guitar picks, one from Perry Richardson, one from Michael, one from Oz, that I got from those guys. But anyway, that was the last time I saw him, was in May. Hope to see him here soon again. But anyway, I can't believe I got to meet David Enigma. That was awesome. The guy that actually signed Striper saw their vision and signed them, and then signed Poison. And I think, I'm trying to remember who else he signed on Enigma Records. There's a lot of people he signed on Enigma Records as time went on. But Striper was the first band that was signed on Enigma Records. So pretty exciting to meet Dave, meet that guy, I tell you. Dave Enigma, he was such a super nice guy. Really enjoyed visiting with him. So, but anyway, guys, as you know, Striper's always been one of my favorite bands if you've listened enough of my podcast besides Kiss. And I did want to show you from when I got to see them this last time. There's the Oriental Theater that they played at right there. There's their tour buses that we hadn't got a picture of while I was waiting for them to show up. There's one of their road crew guys. Got a picture of Michael and Oz kind of unloading their luggage and everything there. And then here's a picture of me and Robert. Picture of me and Oz. Picture of me and Michael. Picture of me and Perry Richardson. And then here's a picture of me and Perry Richardson smoking a cigar together when we got to hang out. Great memory. And then there's Dave Rose, their manager. And Michael's wife, Champagne Sweet. And then here's their daughter, but I cannot remember her name to save the life of me here. But there's her daughter. She was running the merchandise booth. And then here's a picture of Michael and David Enigma visiting a little bit. Couple sound check photos during the sound check, and picture of the crowd before when the show was starting up. A little bit of the inside of the Oriental Theater, which is a pretty famous theater over in Denver, Colorado. Tom Kiefer was there not too long ago, and they've had Ace Frehley there. But if you can look closely, Dave Rose, their manager, got a picture of me in the audience. There I am right there. So there's a picture of me right there in the front. And then just some photos that I took at the show. There's Michael and Robert. There's Michael and Oz. Michael again. There's a picture of Michael, Perry, and Oz together. Another picture of Oz. Another picture of Oz. Michael and Perry together. Great photo of Perry right there. Another great photo I got of Perry. I really enjoyed watching Perry during this show. He was such a great showman. Really enjoyed him. That's another great photo with some of the stage smoke and the lights hitting him just right. I love that photo. That was a photo that came out so cool, I thought. And then another really cool photo of Perry Richardson right there. Robert. Another picture of Robert. And then there's the guys getting a picture with the audience in the very end there. So it was a good time getting to see them again and hang out with them over there in Denver. In Denver, Colorado. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed being with those guys. They were great. They were really great to be with again. It was great to finally get to meet Perry Richardson finally. I had been wanting to meet him for so long and finally got to. And he was such a down-to-earth guy, such a great guy. Really enjoyed hanging out with him and being around him. I got to relight my cigar because I set it down for a little bit. But this cigar, I think, is a good cigar. I really do think it's a really good cigar. I got some other ones I need to try and smoke that came from the same company that I told you about, the Family by Loyalty Cigar Company that a buddy of mine reps for, that gave me these to try. And I told him that since he gave these to me to try, I would definitely feature one of these on my podcast for him and get him kind of noticed and more, as well as the company out of Florida. So I'm glad I could do that today. So Daniel, thank you again, brother. I appreciate it that you gave me this. That you gave me this along with some of the other ones to try, and I can't wait to get into the other ones as well. I wish I've had more time lately to smoke cigars. I've been so dang busy with work and family issues. Haven't had time to smoke cigars the way I want to. So I'm glad I could get down here with you guys again today. I really am glad. I miss being with you guys. Really miss being with you guys. But I hope you guys have been enjoying this a little bit today. I really do. And I'm wearing my hat. My hair is pretty messed up, but I'm wearing my Boston Scally cap the day I wore the day that I hung out with Striper back in May. This was the hat I wore with my Striper pin. And this is from the Boston Scally Company that I've mentioned and showed you guys a lot of, that I really look up to, that I really admire. If you guys have never wore Boston Scally caps, they've got a style of hat for every occasion. And they're great sturdy hats. They got them for summer, winter. They got hats for Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Easter, Halloween, if I didn't mention that. But they're just fun to wear. They're so comfortable. I've really stopped wearing baseball caps since I discovered these hats. So I've really been enjoying these hats, and they're great for dress or just everyday use. They go with everything. They'd even go with a suit if you wanted to. Anyway, got this lit back up. Want to do some shout outs real quick. But I want to thank my mom and my mom Sheila, my sister Sharon, my niece Lindsay, my brother Grant over in Sheridan, Wyoming, my mom Sharon Lindsay, my mom and my sister and my niece are over in Torrington, Wyoming. My brother's over in Sheridan, Wyoming. So hi Grant, hi mom Sharon Lindsay, and Gary and Mary, my uncle and aunt over in Reno, Nevada. Hello to all of you. I want to give out a shout out to Daniel Finley over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a guy I've been keeping in touch with, great guy. He joined Harper Cigar Lounge on December 21st of 2023. And Heath Tex Davis over in Fayetteville, New York. He joined Harper Cigar Lounge on February 20th of 2023. And then Corey Banks, of course, with the Cigar Junkies. He joined Harper Cigar Lounge on July 25th, 2023. Sorry I missed your guys' show today. I had to get my show in today. I had to prepare for that today. But hello, Corey, Samuel, and Jason over Cigar Junkies over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. God bless you guys. Love you guys. Miss you guys. I got to get back into being there for one of your shows again. And then, of course, Daniel Ravanelli from Cheyenne, Wyoming. He's the cigar rep for Family by Loyalty over in Florida. And he's also got his own podcast called the 505 Cigar Review. And you can catch that on YouTube or on Instagram. But anyway, and Daniel, he joined Harper Cigar Lounge on January 23rd of this year. So shout out to all of you guys. And then I want to go ahead and mention all the new members that have joined. We've got 39 new members that have joined. Louis Esquido, Machette, Eleanor Liv, Northeastern Wholesale Distributors, Habano Cigar Supplies, Lee Suna, Steve Morgan, It's Dinero, Lovey's, Graham Fox, Gene Gonzalez, Sebastian Moore, George Echo, James Mark, Jim Klamath, Mark Poussin, Julian Jones, John Steve, USA 99 Shop, The Traveling Cigar Guy, Gurry Cigars, Richard Middle, Michello, Akasenko, something like that, Big Fellas Mobile Cigar Lounge, Wilderd Wilson, Joe Rogan, P.O. Cigar Company, John Deere, George Walters, Stuart Paul, Josephina Camber, Stephen Martin, Jerry Michael, Samuel King, William Lancero, Person Mukel, Mike Stepanwitz, Dick Camachero, something like that. Anyway, those are all the new members. Sorry I can't pronounce some of those names very well. But those are all the new members that have joined since our last podcast. That was that was on the 25th of January. I was right about that. So on the last podcast, we had 1,343 members. With the 39 new members, we now have 1,382 members. So thank you all of you guys for joining and for being a part of this. And thank you all of you that joined from the very beginning of this. And like I said, February 14th was our 1-year anniversary of Harper Cigar Lounge. So that's very exciting that we've made it for a year or more now. And as long as you guys want me around, I plan on being around a lot longer. But I want you guys to communicate with me and keep in touch with me more. Let me know how you're doing, and let me know what's going on with you guys. Please keep in touch with me. Let me know how you're doing. And thanks for being a part of this today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I've kept you long enough, so I'll probably look at letting you go here. But again, thanks for taking the time to watch this and be a part of this today. Thanks for being a member if you are. If you haven't joined Harper Cigar Lounge, make sure you join the group page on Facebook. It's a public group, so it takes nothing to sign up and join. Make sure you check all my other podcasts on YouTube, of course. And there's a lot to check out, so go back and check them out if you haven't. But hey, thank you guys again for all your support to me. Like I said, without you, I wouldn't be here, and I don't take that for granted at all. But cheers to you guys. Cheers to you guys. Keep rocking, keep smoking. And I meant to tell you guys before we go, if you're looking for a good read, make sure you sign up with a Cigar Aficionado. This is the latest one I've gotten. This is the December issue. I should be getting my new issue anytime. This one's got Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. Great magazine if you're looking for vacation tips or just looking for cigar reviews, reviews on spirits. And I told you guys on one of my other podcasts I was looking for the first Bon Jovi album, and I finally got it. And I meant to actually show you guys, I'm sorry, from the Reborn tour, I meant to show you this autographed album that I've got of Tracy Ferry, Robert, Michael, and Oz right there. But that was the album from the Reborn tour that I got signed by those guys. I was really glad to get that signed. But I was able to pick up the Dio Sacred Heart album. But before we go, I also wanted to show you guys, this was the shirt that I wore. This was the shirt that I wore when I worked with Striper the first time in 1990. That was in the photo I showed you. And then wanted to show you real quick. I'm sorry that I didn't show you guys this sooner, and I'm sorry I was making you think I was going to let you go, but not quite yet. But my tour shirts from the Against the Law tour, one of them, and here's another one that I thought you guys might be interested in seeing that I got when I worked with them back in '90. Really cool shirts. They're worth a lot of money now. And then they had some of these Against the Law, or the In God We Trust tour shirts left over, so I got one of those, and so that's one of the original shirts from the In God We Trust tour. And this was the shirt that I bought. This goes to show how small I was back then, but this is a size medium. But this is my original tour shirt from the Tell It the Devil tour that I got from seeing them in Denver, Colorado. And then got that license plate autographed by Robert, Michael, and Perry Richardson and Oz a while back. And then if you guys got VHS players still, these are great VHS cassettes to have. Striper Live from Japan from 1985, and Striper in the beginning kind of talks about their life and their history, shows videos from the Tell It the Devil's album, and just a lot of interviews and different things with their mother, Janice Sweet, and those guys. Here's a Bible that I got signed by Oz that I grabbed. Oh gosh, I think I got that when I was with him during the Reborn tour, when I got to go see him during the Reborn tour. Here's an old shirt from the Reason for the Season era. Right there, there's the back of it. Wanted to show you that. I thought maybe you'd be interested in seeing that. And then if you're looking for some great DVDs of Striper, Live in Puerto Rico. This was from the reunion tour, Greatest Hits. Live in Puerto Rico as well. I think these are actually the same DVDs, just different covers. Yes, that's what that is. Those are same DVD, but two different versions on the album, on the covers there. So anyway, and then Live in Java, Rock and Land. Rock and Land is the name of that DVD. And these all have Timothy Gaines on it. That is not with Striper anymore, but so there's the back of that. But if you're looking for great DVDs, the Live from Puerto Rico, Greatest Hits, and Live in Indonesia. So at the Java Rockin' Land, it's called. So great DVDs if you don't own those. So anyway, guys, I will officially let you go now. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week. And I'm glad you guys were here today. Thank you for all the time, spending time with me today. I'm sorry this podcast was so long. I had a lot to cover today. So anyway, but thank you. And if you guys are looking for some great other hard rock albums, make sure you pick up any of the Boston albums. Those are great albums. And of course, Michael was a part of Boston for a short time. This is a great hard album, Passion Works. And then Styx Live. And my last podcast was about all the female rockers. I forgot to mention Pat Benatar. So that's a great live album right there. If you're ever looking for a great live album of Pat Benatar. So anyway, guys, thank you for everything. Thanks for joining me today. And I love all of you guys. God bless you. And thanks again for being a part of this today. One more time. Cheers. Cheers. And keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here today. God bless you guys.